Hey everyone, Dan at Bushcraft. Well, we're out here doing another emergency poncho shelter setup. Again, I've got the MEST multi-purpose emergency survival tarp from Bushcraft Outfitters. This is the second video I've done. I did a review of this poncho in the last one, and we did an A-frame. We're going to do an emergency plow point today, and I'll show you how to take advantage of this hood to give you more room inside. So to start with, I'm just going to roll that hood up. I'm going to cinch it up. Really, there we go. I'm going to cinch it up, and I'm actually going to use that here in just a little bit to tie some cordage around that. For now, it's cinched up and out of my way. So I've got some cordage in my pockets that I just happen to be carrying. My pack sitting over here under the tree. I got my ground pad, reflective ground pad, to lay out underneath of it. So that's going to insulate me from the ground. I'm surrounded by dead wood, and there's going to be no problem getting a fire going. Probably wind direction's kind of coming this way, so probably right here somewhere is where I would do a fire. So let's go ahead and set this up. We're going to take this poncho, set it up into an emergency plow point, and I'll show you how to use the hood to get more room. All right. So take some of that cordage that I got. And remember, this has the tie outs all the way around. I'm just going to run this piece of cordage through a tie out, tie it off to this tree somewhere around waist height or a little lower, probably. Okay. Nothing fancy. I just did a double overhand knot just to tie it up to that tree real tight. And I think I just want enough room underneath to crawl in and get out of the weather and then catch some heat from the fire I'm going to put in front. So I think that'll work right there. So I'm going to go ahead and stake out the three sides. We're doing a plow point, and then I'll show you how to get more room by tying this hood off. Back end is done. And the first corner set up, I'm going to run around and get the back corner. And just to show you, that's a lot of room. The poncho is just shy of 8 foot by 5 foot, and if you remember from the first video that I did where I reviewed it, it's got fire retardant in the material, and I have had my tarp set up many times in front of a fire, which is made of the same material as the poncho, and watched hot embers hit it, and it is completely undamaged. But this gives a lot of room. The wind's going that way, so a small fire right out here, I'll catch heat. I've got my reflective pad. I can throw some more boughs up here, some pine needles, and use them for more coverage if I need to. But this nice roomy, and the weather forecast for today out here in the mountains this afternoon is snow and rain. So I'm parked at the bottom of this hill down by an old logging road, and let's just say when I get down there my vehicle doesn't start. Well, late afternoon, and it's 25 or 30 miles to town, guess what? I'm gonna be setting this back up, and it's gonna really be getting used. But anyway, I'm gonna show you how to get a little more room in here. And there's a lot of room right now, but if you want a little more headroom underneath, a little more added space, what I've done is I have the other end set right here next to a tree. And that's the thing, take advantage of your surroundings. I have a huge thicket of fir boughs right behind me, which is going to give me partial overhead coverage and also help protect from the wind if the wind should change directions. I'm surrounded by dry firewood, and I'm also facing the direction of the morning sun. The morning sun is going to come right across the horizon, so if I have to stay the night, early in the morning, first thing, there's an opening behind the camera here. The sun's going to come down, and I'm going to catch the morning sun in there. So I've taken advantage of everything, the terrain, the overhead and rear protection from the trees, the morning sun hitting me. You know, that's one thing. Pay attention to your surroundings and use the terrain to your advantage. And so I just tied this off to a tree, but I got 3 little trees right behind it. And I took a piece of bank line, tied it off to one of these little trees, and I'm just going to tie that around the hood and pull the hood up. All right, I just tied that off kind of loose right now. I'm going to run around here and set this up for a trucker's hitch and put a trucker's hitch in there so we can pull it tight. Okay, I moved you guys up a bit closer so that you can see what I'm doing here. I got my loop here. I'm going to wind this around here a couple times. I'll reset my loop. Oh, lost it, guys. Try that again here. There we go. Now I got to use that trucker's hitch, and I'm going to tie it off right here. And that just gives me more room inside. More room right up in here, so I can raise my knees up underneath, sit up. Yeah, very nice. So most small emergency tarps don't have a center tie out. In fact, a lot of big tarps don't have a center tie out. They just have the tie outs around the outside. So actually using a poncho like this as an emergency shelter setup gives you an advantage on certain types of shelters like the plow point, because you can tie off around that hood and pull it back and up to get more headroom inside. So there you have it, guys. Another emergency poncho shelter setup. Again, if you're heading anywhere, you know, in a vehicle, throw a poncho in the trunk, behind the seat, or in your emergency get home bag or whatever. And if you're heading out here into the backcountry or out on a hike, make sure you've got some kind of a poncho in your kit. Learn how to use it for some basic shelters like we did in the last video and this one, and it could save your life. Thanks for tuning in to Ochiko Bushcraft, and take care.